Welcome to Hot Seat. I've been waiting about 2 weeks to do this episode. It's Monday, November 7th, and I'm going to be talking about the number one recruiting class, A&M, this week. Or I guess this month. But anyway, I'm going to start off with some breaking news here. Who's on the hot seat? Well, that's Auburn. They fired their head coach. Yep, the team announced, told the ESPN that. They tweeted it on Twitter, blah, 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 all that stuff, social media. Anyway, yikes. Alright, once again, another team fired their head coach. I feel like I have one or two a month, alright? I think I had two last week. I had Colorado and I don't remember the other one. I had Colorado and Wisconsin last month. So yeah, this past month was Auburn, and I think we'll likely have. I think I'm predicting right now that we'll likely have maybe maybe one or two more in college football. But anyway, guess what? I got another firing. It's not in college football. I'll talk about that here in a minute. But I got still. But yeah, this show I put head coaches on the spot. Who needs to be fired? Who they need to hire? Anyway, Auburn has really struggled this year. They were projected not be very good this year, but make a bowl game. Maybe go 7-5 or 6-4, something like that. But the question here is, they did not look that great this year at all. They gotta get them out of here. Anyway, the NBA, the Nets fired Steve Nash. Yeah, he got thrown out of a game a couple of days ago, and they just decided he can't get anything together. They got Kevin Durant, they got Ben Simmons, they got some, I guess, talented players. I say probably not the most talented group, but I say talented enough to make the playoffs, and he couldn't do that. I think the Nets have really struggled with. I think the Nets have really, here's what I gotta say. The Nets, since they changed their name to the Nets, they really haven't been the same, alright? I think the Nets should just go, I don't even remember the Nets' old name, alright? I'm looking it up right now. New York Nets. Alright, I cut out the part where I was researching it, but anyway, yeah, I didn't get the results I thought I was going to get. Anyway, I guess they used to be called the New Jersey Nets. I really thought that, I didn't know that. I really thought that they had a different, not mascot name, but a different name besides the Nets in the past. I guess they did. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. But anyway, yeah, since, I think they changed locations or changed their name, they really haven't been the same, alright? Neither have the New York Knicks, alright? They need to get things fixed down there, alright? That's all I have for coaches being fired this month. Yeah, well, we're very close to college basketball getting underway, so give me about maybe a month and a half, and I'll start to get some basketball coaches getting fired. Alright, Lakers, more NBA news. The Lakers started the season 1-5, so are we very close to the Lakers head coach getting fired? I know he just recently hired, and I don't know, it seems like, and I think he got a new GM 2 years ago or something. I don't know. The Lakers are always going through coaching changes every year, so I think that's one of the main problems. And they can't get it together. They got talented players. The thing is, they don't know how to play together. They're all ball hogs. That's my main problem with the Lakers right there. They are all ball hogs. Alright, they don't know how to play together. They need to split out and split up and go to the teams they once were when they were stars, because all their fans don't like them anymore. I'll say that. Alright, back to college football. Alright, so Michigan football stadium was built in 19 27. No problem. I don't think I've ever heard a problem like this very lately. Maybe, okay, one time. Okay, I'll take it. Just the fight between two teams. But it happened back-to-back home games. It happened with Michigan and Penn State. I guess that's kind of a rivalry game. Michigan and Michigan State, another rivalry game. What's going on here? In case you're wondering, and you've been in a hole the last couple weeks, yeah, apparently during halftime when the players, go to the locker room, they all go through the same tunnel at once. Hasn't been an issue for the last 200 years or 150 years, however long they've had that since 1927 when it was built. And never had a problem with it until the last couple of weeks. They haven't even had a problem with this at their first couple of home games, alright? The home games early this season. Until just now. The teams that, I don't know, they beat, or the team, I guess, they lose to Michigan or are having a hard time playing Michigan the first half. They want to beat them up. Anyway, Jim Harbaugh knows exactly what he's like. We never had a problem with the tunnel. I mean, yeah, one tunnel, but I mean, we never had a problem with it. There's other stadiums out there with one tunnel. Never had an issue with it. But Jim Harbaugh was criminal charges for the Michigan State players that, started to beat his players up. Yeah. I mean, if you saw the footage against Penn State, it's like, oh, they're not even throwing punches. They're just saying mean things at each other, and peanut butter sandwich get thrown in their face. I don't know. But this Michigan State one is real. If you saw the video, I mean, players were getting attacked violently. And I think a couple days after the game, they suspended 3 players. And just the last couple of days, they suspended 4 more players. So 7 total players from Michigan State got suspended. I don't know for how long. Don't know how long. But, I mean, for that fight and that ruckus they started in that tunnel, which, I don't know. Does it need... Now the question is, what's going on down there? Is it something... If it's something that's been a problem for a long time, no. New problem? Yeah. What's causing this problem? The visitors team. That's the answer. Now, how to fix this? Don't start fighting with each other. I mean, come on. You gotta... Can you just learn to walk in your locker room? And I mean, you don't even have to look at each other or say anything, alright? Well, why? I mean, this is not the only stadium. I've seen it everywhere. There's multiple stadiums that just have one tunnel, or like we'll have both teams come out roughly at the same time, or kind of at the same time. No problem at all. Or have them go at the tunnel at separate times. Have the visitors team go in first, and then a couple minutes later, have the home team go in, or the opposite. Just, what's going on down there? It needs to be fixed, and I'm interested to see if they have to get in on Michigan's next home game. If it does, then it's gonna become a problem. If they have it 3 times, it becomes a problem. If it doesn't happen 3 times, I don't know. There's something going on. It's fishy. But what is fishy going on down there is Stanford. Yep, suspended their mascot from serving as their tree. And apparently, the last home game, he was holding up a sign that says Stanford hates fun. Yep, not a smart move right there. What does he mean by Stanford hates fun? That doesn't make any sense for me. I looked into it. I couldn't find anything about it. But, that was a stupid move. Yep, he should be out of it. Give them a new mascot. There's plenty of other students that would love to wear the dancing tree. I don't even like Stanford. I just like... The only reason why I like Stanford is their mascot. I'm an Oklahoma fan, but I would put on that Stanford mascot any day. I would love to dance around in that tree mascot. I love mascots so much. I would wear that Oregon Duck. You give me a really popular called no matter how much I hate them or love them, I'll put it on because they're fun to wear. But I mean, there are a lot other. I'm sure there are definitely students lining up to put that mascot on, and definitely they will have fun. I'll tell you that. All right, so yeah, earlier this month, I officially renamed Texas A&M to #1 recruiting class, mainly to make fun of them because, well, it's true. That's the fact. They are the #1 recruiting class, and the reason why I say it so much is because I want people to know that they are the #1 recruiting class. Get that stuck in your head and then watch them play. Yep, they are the most talented team in college football. Most talented roster in college football this year. And I gotta say, Jimbo Fisher's been there for I think 5 years now. He's been working on building that roster for 5 years. He's been at the top recruiting class the last couple of years. So it's not like, oh, these players haven't started yet. They're still on the bench. No, these guys most of them played, a couple of them started last year. They're mostly all in now. So my question is, they're on a 4-game losing streak right now. They're 3-5. In order for them to go to a bowl game, they have to win the rest of their 4 games. Now keep in mind that I will tell you that this episode was recorded before this past Saturday. So even though this episode airs on Monday, this episode is actually recorded before Saturday. So if A&M let's say that if A&M did lose 2 days ago, look, my question is, they're not bowl eligible anymore. So A&M will have to win the rest of their bowl games. So, yeah, this record, this graphic is based off of the end of October. So, yeah, so whatever happens November 7th, this episode was recorded before November 7th. Yep. Anyway, yeah. They're on a 4-game losing streak. They are 3-5 time this recording. Yeah, not a good look for them. Yeah, they have to win the rest of their bowl game, the rest of their games to become bowl eligible. I don't think that's gonna happen. All right, and I'm gonna talk more about it on my Slate Report podcast. Or you can go check that out on my Slate Report podcast, and I'm going to talk more in depth about Texas A&M and their upcoming schedule and what they got going on for them. And it's going to be live on YouTube if you didn't see that. Or, actually, yeah, I think it's no, it happened. I'm trying to remember the time of recording, what order I had the shows. Yeah, it's earlier in the day. I think it's about an hour ago. You're watching this show right when it got published. Anyway, yeah, the first ranking of the season came out last week. Tennessee's 1, Ohio State is 2, Clemson 4, Georgia 3, Michigan 5, Alabama 6. Now the question here is, drum roll please. Now, do you think that they have... Now, I'm looking at... Now that I look at this, because I was originally looking at this based off the ranking, but now I look at the graphic, now I see why they have Tennessee at 1. They don't want a Tennessee and Georgia rematch in the semifinals. That's the only reason why Tennessee is #1. Now, thing is this is just their first ranking. I would go ahead and probably put Tennessee at 2. I really think it should be a 2 versus 3 matchup, and Ohio State should be #1. The thing that surprised me the most is TCU's not up there. They're undefeated. Yep, they're the only undefeated team that's not on this list, and they're a Power 5 team. So, and Alabama, yeah, of course, got to be higher than them. They got that 1 loss. Yeah, who'd that 1 loss to? Tennessee. Yep, and Tennessee's #1. That's the only reason why you make it that way. Yep, it comes out that way. Anyway, let's take a look at the rest of the rankings. Alright, so, yeah. you can see there, TCU is 7 below Alabama. So my question here, or my hot seat question for the CFP is, why is TCU below Alabama? Well, if you look at my ranking, TCU's also below Alabama. And I got a reason for you. It's because, TCU, yeah, they're undefeated. Alabama's one loss to Tennessee, the number one team right now, the most impressive team and the most improved team in the SEC this year. TCU, the most improved team in the Big 12 this year. But the thing is, the only reason why TCU is behind Alabama is because TCU has the tendency to fall behind early in the game. If TCU were to have a lead majority of their games, they would probably be ahead of Alabama. They would probably likely be ahead of Michigan. They might even have that fourth spot and take Clemson's spot. And I think TCU can do that. And it's will TCU do that? Probably not. But they got the capability to do that. They just got to start strong. Alright? If TCU can start their game strong, take an early lead, and don't lose the lead, TCU, and have a complete game and don't have to come from behind every game, then yeah, TCU will be ahead of Alabama. They'll likely be ahead of Michigan, and Clemson will likely take that fourth spot. But until they can find a way to get behind, they'll sit behind Alabama. And if they remain, but now the question is, it's still or not. Now let's say that TCU goes undefeated, but yet they're still falling behind every game. And yet Alabama, somehow finds a way to win the rest of the games. I think they're still out. Even if TCU is undefeated at the end of the season and they still have a hard time coming back from games, they will likely finish the season at 5. Just a possibility. I'm just throwing it out there. Just a possibility. I'm not saying that they will. It's just a possibility that TCU might be left out just because they have a tendency to fall behind, which is something that they will struggle to do in the playoff. Now, once again, I want to mention that this episode was recorded before November 7th, this past Saturday, 3 years ago. But, so apparently it looks like the SEC formed their own playoffs, or that's what I kind of created. But anyway, we had Tennessee and Georgia Saturday. Obviously, I don't know the outcome of it. I can't look into the future of this recording. But obviously, when this episode comes out, the game's already happened. But, we're taking a future look at the SEC kind of forming their own playoffs here in November. Alright, so, the two best teams in their division are playing each other this past Saturday. Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, LSU. Likely the winner of these games will likely the winner of these games will be in the SEC Championship, and will likely figure it out this past Saturday who they're playing each other. I really wish that this episode came out before this Saturday because the fun talk. Although I likely talked about this on American Game Day, but I just want to get it out. Talk about it. Can the SEC allow to form their own playoff? Quite possibly. College basketball does it. They do their own tournament. Is it possible that, the playoffs are about to go to 12 teams. Is it possible for maybe the Power 5? I think Power 5, once we get a couple years look at the 12-team playoff, I think we'll move forward into maybe a 4-team playoff in the Power 5. That would be fun to watch and get us a true conference champion team, and the winner of that conference playoff, will go to the CFP playoffs. I think that would be interesting, and I think the good idea that I actually came up with just this past week. Alright, I'm going to real quickly talk about TCU again, because I guess earlier, or I guess mostly at the start of their season, they had Kansas, Oklahoma, OSU, Kansas State. In every They knocked out their quarterback. Yep, you can see the list right there of every quarterback they injured this year. Yeah, now the question is, does TCU play dirty? No. That's the reason why they're at the top of the conference. They don't play dirty. They're a great physical team. That's a defense you don't want to mess around with. Now, TCU gets a lot of credit for how great their offense is, but TCU has a great defense. I mean, it may not be the best in the Big 12, but it's good enough. They're a great physical team. Now, my question here is it going to continue for TCU? Are they continuing to knock out quarterbacks? Well, it's hard to work out. In the last couple of games, they kind of cleaned that up, and they actually haven't been hurting any quarterbacks the last couple of days. Will it continue? Probably, maybe, I don't know. I really don't know. But I will say this is they are not intentionally doing it. I think most of it is an accident. They're not out there trying to hurt these quarterbacks. Alright? They are out there to make a tackle, and that's what they're doing. Alright? They might be tackling a little harder than they're supposed to, but they're making tackles and they're getting their defensive stops. Alright? And now the question is, quarterbacks, you better look out for TCU. And I think a lot of quarterbacks are looking out for them now, being more protective. And I think that's what we're seeing now. Alright, that's going to wrap up our marathon here on Busy Sports. So let's go down the network for next week. State Report Podcast every Monday, 6 o'clock. Down and Distance every Monday, 6 o'clock, our football show. Yep, recapping a great week. Hardwood Hoops every Friday, 6 o'clock. Got a good episode this Friday. College football just underway. And of course, Hot Seat, this show, putting coaches on the spot. First Monday of every month at 6:30. And also, American Game Day every Saturday. Getting hype for another big day in college football. Saturday in the morning, 10 a.m. And if you haven't already, check out our website for the latest news, scores, stats, etc. That's what's going on here on Busy Sports. And what a great show. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Hot Seat. I'll see you all in December. Yep, gotta be a great one. Putting more coaches on the spot, maybe some college basketball ones.